let me set the stage for this, actually. So I spent time living in South Dakota, like a good, I want to say like a year and a half. And I never lived on the side where this happened, but my ex-wife's family was from the area of Rapid City. And they always talked about this issue where there was this battle between the natives, the Native Americans, and the police in Rapid City and the surrounding South Dakota area, right, to progress an oil pipeline for, through their sacred land, right? And they had a right to that land, by all retrospect, right? Like that was their area that was given to them, right? The fact that aside from the fact that we already took away so much, right? Like that amount that you have given them, you're then going to further encroach on that. It was a ridiculous thing that was, it was a huge battle. There was a huge controversy, and everybody talked about, like, it was a subject that was frequently talked about, with both my ex-wife and her brother and other members of the family, etc., that they just felt passionately about because they themselves knew natives, and it's just wrong, right? Like it's just wrong for the government to come in and be like, oh, we're gonna encroach on your property to put this thing through your private property, something that is sovereign to you that should not be encroached on unless you are giving it permission. To just evade that, to just say, hey, we're just going to put a pipeline through your thing no matter what. That was just extremely controversial. It was something that actually, for a brief period, positively, I think did legislatively get repealed. However, when Donald Trump was elected and came into office initially, that was something he completely vetoed. He completely turned the other way, and all the work that the natives had done in South Dakota had been, disregarded, and that went forward. And that was actually the day in my mind where I completely fell off the Trump train. That single moment, that was when I was like, I'm done with this guy. That was the clear moment where he showed that he was going to become nothing more than the authoritarian Republican puppet, right? And this, what's happening in Iowa, with the expansion of carbon pipelines, is disturbingly eerily similar to this in a way. Obviously, well, I don't even know. There could be, within this map, there could be native properties that are encroached upon. I don't even know. But, I mean, private property is just being essentially, like this bid, this is from June 25th. The summit's controversial bid this is from the Des Moines Register. I'll just read the article. Summit's controversial bid to build a carbon capture pipeline wins Iowa board's approval. So this is something that got passed very recently in the last couple days, as this is being recorded. This has been a 2.5-year process filled with controversy. And the people who are fighting against this are appealing it. This is, we'll see if this, with the appeals, if that puts any, placement on it. But it would not surprise me if they just, went forward with this right away. Well, I guess what the article said, it was going to begin in 2025, and then it would start to be available for use in 2026. And look, I think the argument for, okay, this is to help people, this is to help the entirety of Iowa, et cetera, whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about that argument. I believe in property rights 100%. If you encroach beyond that, I don't give a fuck. I don't think it's right for anyone to say that they can just, unwillingly put that through my property. and here's the thing, right? Like there was, it does look like there was a 75% approval for this. However, who knows how much of that is just due to, either just not being able to think, or just, just assuming that whatever, this is going to help everybody, when, actually there are a lot of, ethical concerns to this leakage. This is something that can, very easily leak into communities or into homes, and people cannot realize it and just die instantly. That does raise that risk, right? That's a very scary thing in itself, that carbon monoxide poisoning and death. And it's just really sad that this is just something that's being encroached. And like I said, this is with the same group of people, the same guys that is being run by this woman, Kim Reynolds. I don't exactly know if this is something that she signed into law, but at the very least, she is in charge of the entity that is creating all this this prosperity, the opposite of prosperity, prosperity for them, right? I mean, they're the ones that are succeeding in this, right? But the citizens, the people of Iowa, are going through some, so there's some serious encroachment, however the fuck you say that. I'm retarded, okay? Getting your property imposed upon. There are going to be a lot of Iowans where this is going to happen. Ironically enough, I believe looking at the map, if I remember, actually in the same part of Iowa which is now being flooded, the place that I grew up, right? Actually very sad. I haven't really done a ton of research into it, but like everything I've seen, people have died. Obviously, there's been footage of people and stories of people having to get rescued off of, restaurants and, places like Spencer and Lamar's and Sioux Center, like places that I grew up in, right? Just getting completely flooded. Fucking crazy. I don't know what damage was done to the town that I grew up in personally, but a lot of places in that area, that community that I grew up in, are getting damaged. And, from what I remember on the map, it seems like a lot of places in that same area are almost eerily coincidentally in sync with this disaster. These pipelines are getting approved to be built in those areas, right? Is this a coincidence? I don't know. Is this just happenstance? This is possible. It's also possible that government is doing what it always does, which is whenever there's a disaster, whenever there's an opportunity for something to be done authoritarianly for that pushes either their agenda, their financial pocketbook, whatever, they can do it. If they can find the excuse to take more tax money to fund these things, then they can do it. They're going to do it every time.